I do want to tell you, though, about some immigrant New Yorkers that Andrew Cuomo screwed when he was governor, and we're defending in my office. A couple of hundred immigrant subway cleaners who he made clean the subway cars but cheated out of the prevailing wages and health care that they were due. We're fighting right now to get it back.
Yeah, I don't know what Mr. Lander is talking about. The MTA contracted for cleaning services. I assume that's what he's talking about. The MTA goes through a rigorous contracting process. They should never have hired illegal immigrants if it is true. But obviously, I had nothing to do with them hiring anyone.
I'm sorry, is that what you said? What did you call them?
If anyone was undocumented or they didn't pay the proper wages, I had nothing to do with it. It would have been done with the MTA. You didn't pay them the proper wages. You cheated them out of the prevailing wages they were due and the health care they were due. I didn't contract with them at all. The MTA contracted with them.
Who appoints the chair of the MTA?
Oh, I see. So every contract that the MTA contracts, you want me to be held responsible?
This one, yes, because a couple of hundred immigrant workers got cheated out of $2.5 million and their health care, and the orders came from on high.
Yeah, so you say. If they did it, that would obviously be wrong. The MTA contracts for $6 billion per year. They have multiple contracts. We have a controller on the state of New York who audits the books. I'm sure he's almost as good as you. And if that happened, he would have found out.
Thankfully, these are prevailing wage workers under city contracts.
Mr. Mondami has had a staff of 5 people. You're now going to run a staff of 300,000 employees. He's never dealt with the city council. He's never dealt with the Congress. He's never dealt with the state legislature. He's never negotiated with the union. He's never built anything. He's never dealt with a natural emergency. He's never dealt with a hurricane, with a flood, etc. He's never done any of the essentials, and now you have Donald Trump on top of all of that, and he's never dealt with what I think is the greatest national threat that we face in this president. To put a person in this seat at this time with no experience is reckless and dangerous.
To Mr. Cuomo, I have never had to resign in disgrace. I have never cut Medicaid. I have never stolen hundreds of millions of dollars from the MTA. I have never hounded the 13 women who credibly accused me of sexual harassment. I have never sued for their gynecological records, and I have never done those things because I am not you, Mr. Cuomo. And furthermore, the name is Mamdani, M-A-M-D-A-N-I. You should learn how to say it because we got to get it right.
Andrew knows a lot about corruption. That's part of the experience he had. He created a corruption commission and then killed it as soon as it got too close to him. But his senior aides had to resign in corruption disgrace. And let's be clear, he has experience, but leadership is not inviting 25-year-old young women into your office, as he admitted he did, and then asking them about their intimate life and whether they would date older men. I lead by building the best teams, not through sexual harassment, corruption, and disgrace.
Mr. Mondami's right. He's never done anything, period.
Mr. Mamdani.
This is a man who
Mamdani. Just say the name right, Mamdani.
This is a man who has done nothing. He's accomplished nothing. 3 bills are all he passed. He is the worst attendance record in the New York State Assembly. He has never held a real job. He has 0 accomplishments.
I want to be very
clear. And now
clear.
he thinks he's going to be ready to be mayor of the city of New York. It is laughable. It is laughable, and it is dangerous.
Okay. I want
really
Mr.
quick, and then we're
Cuomo to
gonna
look
move on.
out into the crowd and look at Richard Chow, who lost his brother to suicide because of the taxi driver debt crisis. I went with Mr. Chow over many, many months organizing to push this very city to finally reckon with its complicity in that, and we won $450 million in debt relief. And I want you to look at him and tell him that that's nothing.
Okay, let's
You passed
let's move to
3 bills.
we'll move to Mr. Stringer. Yeah.
Truth be told, experience matters. And Andrew Cuomo has experience. I know that. He does. But vision matters. And Mamdani said it right?
Mamdani, almost there.
Okay, I'm getting there.
Almost there.
But you have the vision, and you have articulated it during the campaign. The problem is we need somebody who can do both. And my experience and my vision, when you combine it, is the third lane to win this race. And that's what we have to do.
Very good, very good.
By a show of hands, I will translate for the radio audience, how many of you would support a rent-stabilized rent freeze this year? Hands up if you do. Okay, the ones whose hands are up are Stringer, Myrie, Mamdani, and Lander. Not up.
State the question, please.
Would you
It's your
support a
donors
rent
who gave you
freeze for the
$2.5 million to freeze the rent.
in the rent stabilization system this year, a rent freeze this year? Yes or no, Mr. Cuomo?
Would I vote for a rent freeze this year?
Yes.
I'd leave it to the Rent Guidelines Board.
Who controls them? The mayor.
We appoint them. The law controls them. You should read it
Ms.
once in a
Adams, your
while.
hand
The law
was
didn't
not-
control you, did it?
You should read it.
Ms. Adams.
Andrew, you admitted at the time that you called a 25-year-old staffer into your office and asked her questions about whether she'd had older partners and whether she was available, and intimated that you were looking for a partner. Everybody here knows that you sexually harassed women, that you created a toxic work environment. We're here with all these CUNY students, many of them young women. I went to the City College commencement. The valedictorian is going to come work at the Department of Homeless Services. I don't want to have to tell her, don't go work at City Hall because the mayor is a sexual harasser.
Never said that. And by the way, that has been totally disproven by every court that has looked at it. Every
Courts don't
legal
disprove
proceeding.
things. Everyone
yes,
knows.
Yes, they do, sir.
They
a
don't,
report was issued. The DAs looked at it.
Yeah.
They all disagree with you. I was dropped from the case. So those are the facts.
The Biden Justice Department and the Attorney General of the state of New York, and again, it was reported that you admitted at the time that it was a mistake to call that 25-year-old into your office. Folks can check the record.
And the
and
Attorney
folks
General
know if he worked for you, you would fire him.
Hang on.
Attorney General's
Just wrap up. Yeah.
The Attorney General's report was determined by a court to be hearsay and not a finding at all. I understand Mr. Lander is just appalled.
The women
Mr. Lander,
accused you of sexual harassment. That's what you're calling hearsay.
The district attorneys looked at all those complaints, and not a single case
We're going in
was
circles. We're going to
Maybe
move on.
you know better than the facts.
Obvious that this is disqualifying.
Candidates?
The man resigned. Should be obvious.
No,
the problem is we do not get to address the issues that New Yorkers care about.
Yeah, that's
because
just
we're
what we're
talking
going to
about
do.
his
That's
past.
just what we're going to
Mr. Mamdani says he would dismantle the police. That's his expression. Mr. Lander said, I'll admit, progressives like me were slow to recognize the problems of crime and quality of life and mopeds.
See, it's not so
and
difficult to
weed.
take responsibility, is it?
That's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I think New Yorkers want accountability. They want accountability when people commit crimes. They want accountability when officers use excessive force. They want accountability when top brass violate their office. And they want accountability from elected officials. So, yes, I said we were slow to reckon with rising disorder. Here's how I'm going to actually deliver it. You've never taken responsibility for one single thing you've done wrong in your entire life. Not one single thing. You should try it sometime.
Do you support an expansion of red light cameras, Mr. Tilson?
Absolutely.
Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Absolutely, and I voted for it in Albany.
Thank you, Mr. Myrie. Mr. Mamdani?
Yes, and unlike Andrew Cuomo, I know you can't turn right on red in New York City.
Peter, will you please stand up? Andrew, this is Peter Arbini. He's been trying to ask you a question for 5 years. His father, Norman died because of your disastrous order sending people with COVID into nursing homes. Then, as you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So tonight, will you finally apologize to Peter and other grieving New Yorkers, or will you just keep... Or will you just keep gaslighting them with blather about what a great job you claim you did?
Maybe where you come from in St. Louis, facts don't matter. Mr. Arbini lost a father. I am very, very sorry for that. He brought a legal case against the state. The legal case was dismissed. When you look at the papers on the case, there was no COVID-positive person sent from a hospital to the nursing home while Mr. Arbini was in the nursing home. So it is factually impossible, Brad, that he got COVID from someone coming from a hospital.
Which is that
you're going to ask a question or not?
I'm going to ask a question, but Brad Lander is more of a New Yorker than Andrew Cuomo is, and to hear all of this, to hear all this about St. Louis, we have to just make this clear. Now, all of us on this stage...
Wait, who are you going to ask your question to?
I'm asking it to Andrew Cuomo.
Okay.
I feel like most people would have known I'm going to ask Andrew Cuomo the question.
I knew.
I knew.
And you knew.
We did. We both knew.
We knew.
And Andrew Cuomo, you have received millions of dollars in funding from the very billionaires who put Donald Trump back into office. Will you now look at the camera and tell your super PAC to return those millions of dollars, and to your own campaign to return that close to $500,000 to ensure that this is not a race that is bought by those same Trump billionaires?
I know you don't understand the law, but it would be illegal for me to direct an independent expenditure committee.
Is it illegal for you to direct your own campaign?
One question, one answer.
That's the law, okay? Number two, I dealt with Mr. Trump as governor. We had very, very difficult times. I got more help for New York from Trump than anyone expected. New York was one of the few places that he did not send in troops when he sent them everywhere else because he didn't want to deal with me. That's the fact. I got him to send us masks.
So are you going to return the
$500,000
to your own campaign?
And then on your point about, billionaires, let's remember this. I am the candidate on the stage who is supported by more labor unions than any other candidate. 650,000 working men and women support me.
Then why is it that J.D. Vance went to more picket lines than you did?
Let me finish, because they know me and they know my record. The firefighters worked with me in storms. The utility workers endorsed me because I was in Puerto Rico putting the power back together after the storms. Every major union that has endorsed has endorsed me greater than any candidate on the stage.
It is ridiculous to hear Mr. Cuomo talk about himself as a man of unity when just yesterday we found out that his super PAC was sending mail that artificially darkened and lengthened my beard to stoke the very fears of that division in this city. The reason he doesn't have a message for Muslim New Yorkers is because he has nothing to say to us, because he doesn't see us as if we are every other New Yorker. And ultimately, the campaign that I am running is a campaign that seeks to go beyond the politics of the Trump era, where candidates on the stage describe me as a monster, describe me at the gates, where they say that I am, in fact, the other. This is a campaign to bring people together. It's why we have the support of Jewish and Muslim New Yorkers. It's why we have the support of people across the 5 boroughs.
Real quick. You don't bring New Yorkers together by saying President Obama is evil and President Obama is a liar. You don't bring them together by saying Hakeem Jeffries is like George Wallace and the DAS sending ads to Hakeem Jeffries with watermelons. Koch didn't say what you said he said. He said, anyone who threatens Israel, I would never support. That's what Koch says. and that's you.
Talking about so many of the delivery workers, the orders that they have to deliver within a time frame, there is no way for them to be able to obey the laws of the road. And one of those apps is DoorDash. DoorDash has given Andrew Cuomo's super PAC $1 million. That is why when you get those mailers that are lying about me, you see the top 3 donors at the bottom, one of them is DoorDash. The reason they give that money is because they want to influence labor and street safety regulations. They want to ensure they can continue to operate with impunity.
Yeah. I think Mr. Madani starts with the assumption that if you receive money from someone, then you will do what they want. That may work for him, but I'm not for rent and I'm not for sale. So we wonder who's funding DSA and who's funding his BDS movement. On the specific question...
Campaign Finance Board, and you can see all the donations.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you know who you're ranking second on your ballot.
There you go.
Mr. Tilson, who is it?
Andrew Cuomo.
It's not me.
Nobody else.
And starting with Mr. Tilson, name a politician you have a good relationship with, quickly.
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. Mr. Stringer.
Mostly everyone on stage.
Mr. Myrie.
Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins.
Mr. Mamdani.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who I'm proud to be endorsed by.
Mr. Lander.
State Senator Liz Kruger.
Mr. Cuomo.
Yep. Mike Bloomberg, David Patterson, thank you for the endorsement.
Ms. Adams.
Attorney General Tish James.
Okay.